What articles do you expect to be inside this magazine?
I kind of feel like the articles that should be in the magazine should be like probably interviews with footballers, maybe news and current affairs that's happening with football, and just general things that's happening in the world of sport, as well as transfer news maybe and injury news, player news, all of that kind of stuff.
Okay. For this type of magazine, how much would you pay to buy it?
I'd say anywhere between £1 and £5.
Why do you think that?
Because I think that for the kind of magazine that you're selling, that's kind of what they tend to be sold for. Nowadays, magazines like Match and sort of brochures for football matches and those kind of things, they tend to be around that price range. So that's probably your best bet.
When buying any kind of magazine, what genre do you usually buy?
I tend to either go for music magazines or film magazines because that's just personally what I find the most interesting.
Okay. Who do you think this type of magazine should be targeted at? What age and gender?
Well, if it's sport, I mean, predominantly sports would be targeted towards a male target audience, and if you're looking at football, I'd say anywhere between the ages of about, I don't know, 16 and up, 16 to 40 years old. Yeah.
If you do read magazines, which I presume you do, how many do you read a week or?
I probably read at least a magazine once or twice a month. I don't really read magazines, sort of physical copies of them. I tend to read sort of more magazine articles online.
Okay. Do you like a magazine more if it is picture based or with loads of readable content?
I kind of like a mix of both. It's good to have images to be able to illustrate the point that you're making, but at the same time, obviously, you're reading an article for the content that's within it. You're not kind of reading an article just for the picture.
Okay. When going to buy a magazine, do you judge it by the front cover?
Not always. I sometimes judge it by the kind of headlines that they're showing on the front cover. Maybe at first I might sort of be attracted to a magazine because the image catches my eye, but I won't initially start reading it until I sort of see what the content is.
Is that because a famous person might be on the front, so it might influence whether you're going to buy it?
It just depends on if the image is eye catching. It doesn't really have to be if the person's famous or not.
And finally, do you feel that this magazine would appeal to a wider range of audience if it was about other sports as well as football?
Yes, because obviously you can market it to a lot more people. Obviously, not everyone in the world is going to love football, so therefore you could market it to other people who are fans of sports. You could include interviews and news about other players, other sort of transfer news within other sports. And you can't just like limit it to the UK as well. You could also do it to like sort of world news and world sports.
Okay, thank you.